Testing an audio again. Hmm. Hmm. Oh, I guess just restream audio isn't working. Hmm. Oh, I guess just. Alrighty. Let's start with a sample from Egghead this time. So, let's create a new instance of Simpler. Whoops. Grab Simpler from here, drop it there, then drop. This is the audio from an Egghead lesson by Ryan Warner about adaptive buttons. We'll just slice it up and grab, like based on the transients, grab about 16 slices. Can I get, that's 17. We'll leave it at 17, that's fine. These will sound like this.
Select the rectangle X tool, white what we want. For button, we want to started. Adjusted by drawing. We adjust both layers. Selected button is going to have button changed.
All right, so those are the slices we have to work with. I'm going to immediately drop them into a drum rack. And then find a bass drum from one of these.
Select the rectangle X tool. Now that we have a button changed. Button changed. Button changed.
That's a good candidate. So
button changed.
Let's open that one up and shorten it a bit.
Button changed. Button changed.
I'm going to put the spectrum on it because kicks, as far as I understand, should live around 50 hertz.
Button changed. Button changed. Button changed. Button changed.
And you can see the loudest parts are here around 100, and they're around 630. You can see the numbers there.
Button changed.
So start dropping this. Oh, let's warp this too. See, so we're at G. Let's start it at A. It's F, so we'll want it a little bit higher. That's around A. Let's fade this out. A little louder. Let's try to add a bit more pop to it with the pitch envelope. Really short decay. All right. We will work with that, and then let's find a snare type of sound.
Selected both layers.
That's kind of that can be our hi-hat later on.
Adjusted by drawing our button. Started.
We'll try that as a snare.
Started.
Alrighty, shorten that a little bit.
Started.
Dropping the spectrum again. I think snares can live around. I'll turn on warp.
Started.
Snares can live around 500. Fade that one out. Let's add some saturation. Kind of drive that a bit. I'm thinking some reverb might add some nice texture to it. Okay, we're gonna live with that. Maybe change it later, maybe not. And let's go back to the drum rack. And this one can be our hi-hat sound. Drag that in here. Hi-hats can live up here in this range, in the 5,000 range. Warp this. Still not quite high enough, believe it or not. So when you run out of room with that, you can bring a frequency shifter. All right. And let's kind of erode that with erosion. I haven't tried any of these presets. We'll just try this though. And try and cut off the high end of that. Right. All right. Now I can try and create a beat from that. I think there's a way to do it where I can kind of play around with the beat and then capture that, and they'll grab the tempo for me. Let's see.
Select the rectangle shape tool or press R.
Whoops. It's only doing one at a time. Let's capture that. Okay, and that changed the tempo for me. And I think we need to, let's see. So if we open this and drag the start point to here. Just make sure to quantize all this. Command U. And then I think I like using delays on these. So if I do something like this. Why is my drum rack not doing both those samples at the same time? I'm not sure why off the top of my head. Is there a setting in here? Where'd those go? Where's the little squeaks? Let's see. I figured some sort of polyphonic something or other. But I would think each of these. I have to Google this one. Ableton Live drum rack. when I cut off the drum rack pads together, but they all cut each other off. Drum rack's choking feature. Never heard of this one.
All right, in this tutorial, I'm going to teach you how to do a feature called choking in drum racks. And basically what that is choking has been used in drum machines for quite a while. And what it does is mostly used on cymbals. So you have an open and closed hi-hat. When you play the open hi-hat, you want that open hi-hat to stop playing when the closed hi-hat hits. So it sounds more natural. If you have the open hi-hat carrying over with just simple 10 is going to be 1. And then once you do that, you want to make sure that your I/O button is clicked on. If it looks like that, then you just haven't turned it on. So go ahead and hit that. And then from there, what you can do is you can group different sounds to choke each other, basically. So in this case, I want 12, 10, and 8 to all choke each other. So what it does here.
Let's see. I/O choke 1. Let's choke none. There we go. All right. That was a cool thing to learn. Haven't used the drum rack too much. Let's go into the right here. Gonna add some delay to this one. Find our delay. Drop it after the auto filter. All right. Close our loop. I think I got that bass drum that I want to filter off some of that top stuff. Let's auto filter here. Add a drum bus. Let's bring out some of that boom. I think I want that snare to sound a bit more like a snare. But again, trying to be decisive, so not spending too long on each of these. And close the chain. Should be erosion after that. Let's turn that down quite a bit. Definitely needs to hit harder. Let's bring that saturator back. Alrighty. That's as much as I'm going to spend on that.
X tool. X tool. Have the label submit. Have the label submit. Have the label
And then
submit.
find
Button
a
is going to have
sample to
both
drop
layers.
in as a synth.
Engaver button. Both layers. Engaver button auto layout. Both layers. Engaver button auto layout in the right hand design panel.
So crop this. Show in browser. And then in my form instrument, when I open this up, I can take that that slice and drop it in here.
Both layers. Engaver button auto.
So we'll load that sample in.
Both layers. Engaver button auto layout. Both layers. Engaver
I think we'll flatten these.
both layers. Engaver button auto layout. Both layers. Engaver button auto layout. Both layers. Engaver button auto layout.
Can change the scale to a Dorian.
Both layers. Engaver button auto. Both layers. Engaver button auto layout. Both layers. Engaver button auto layout. Both layers.
Shape this a bit.
Both layers. Engaver button auto layout. Both layers. Engaver button auto layout. Both layers. Engaver button auto layout. Both layers. Engaver button auto. Both layers. Engaver button auto. Both layers. Engaver button.
All right, and then I always like trying this curve preset against the beat. Gives it some motion to it. Let's boost this a little bit. Move these around a little bit. Find some of the transients there. I'm gonna flip that last one. All right, we'll see how that works. Just being decisive and making some sounds. So in here. All right, those will drop those in here. I'm gonna have to loop that. I always forget to loop this. Alrighty, so back in here. We can crop this for sure. Crop clip, and then just hold these out the entire time. Whoops. Duplicate this. We'll have to add some more here. Come down there and duplicate that. Let's crop this clip too. Let's make these work together better through glue compressor, audio effects on the entire rack. We want to drop that. Try something different. Get rid of the reverb. Alrighty. These, I think I'll drop these an octave. Group all of that. Tweeting's just getting annoying. I thought it might. Since this is kind of a pad, I'm gonna add a compressor on there. Sidechain in let's name this the drums. Pads. All right, sidechain in the drums. Put those on the beat. I'm not in love with that sound. Can do like an auto pan thing on it. That might make it more interesting at least. Or wait, I think the delay has an auto pan built into it. I'm gonna shape this pad a bit more. Bring out the highs. Kind of want to add some movement here. Not sure what I want it to be though. If we had like a I wonder what that sounds like even lower. Just want to try the additive waveform a bit more. Gonna bring this down, this volume down. Okay, that's something. Let's get some of those words in. It's like an audio track where I can grab just put another simpler in there. And oops, a MIDI track. Bring the sample back in. See if there's anything interesting we can. Where's the slice by transient sensitivity? There's some good slices in there.
Now that we have a click on adjust this padding by adjust the padding. See the power of the text. What we want. Power of auto layout. See the power. Changing what we so the text is started text tool. Submit padding. White what we type in white what we want for our vertical positioning. 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 When I set the white what we want for our white what we text tile text white what we want for our white what we want for our vertical positioning. When I
another drum rack there. Layout here.
dragging on that, you can adjust this path. White what we want for our vertical. Pasting our button. Pasting our button. Give it pasting our button. And then white what we want for our vertical
Slice
positioning.
24 is what I'm looking for.
When I set the vertical pasting our button. And then change white what we want for our vertical positioning. When I set the vertical pad, but it's not quite what we want for our vertical positioning. When I set
and move this down. Can I scroll while I'm doing that? Oh, slice 24. Oops. It's a delicate procedure there. quite what we want.
But it's not quite what we want for our vertical positioning. When I set the vertical padding to 0, you'll notice the text.
There we go. That's how you.
But it's not quite what we want for our vertical positioning.
Let's play around with vocal synth, audio effects. This is my favorites.
But it's not quite what we want for our vertical positioning. When I set the vertical padding to 0, you'll notice the text.
All right.
But it's not quite what we want for our vertical positioning. When I set the vertical padding to 0, you'll notice the text.
Let's go ahead and.
But it's not quite what we want for our vertical positioning. When I set the
Capture that.
vertical padding to 0, you'll notice the text.
And
But it's not quite what we want
make that
for our vertical
shorter.
positioning.
And I'll loop through this. Focus on it. Slow it out.
Quite what we want. It's not quite what we want for our vertical, but it's not quite what we want for our vertical, but it's not quite what we want for our vertical, but it's not quite what we want for our vertical, but it's not quite what we want for our vertical, but it's not quite what we want for our vertical, but it's not quite what we want for our vertical, but it's not quite what we want for our vertical, but it's not quite what we want for our vertical, but it's not quite what we want for our vertical, but it's not quite what we want for our vertical, but it's not quite what we want for our vertical, but it's not quite what we want for our vertical, but it's not quite what we want for our vertical, but it's not quite what we want for our vertical, but it's not quite what we want for our vertical, but it's not. But it's not quite what we want for. But it's not quite what we want for our vertical, but it's not quite what we want for our vertical, but it's not quite what we want for our vertical, but it's not quite what we want for our vertical, but it's not quite what we want for. Not quite what we want for our vertical, but it's not quite what we want for our vertical, but it's not quite what we want for our vertical, but it's not quite what we want for our vertical, but it's not quite what we want for our vertical positioning, but it's not quite what we want for our vertical positioning, but it's not quite what we want for our vertical positioning. But it's not quite what we want for, 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 but it's not quite what we want.
That kind of makes me laugh.
But it's not quite what we want. 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 But it's not. But it's not. But it's not. But it's not quite what we want. 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 But it's not quite what.
This always gets stuck on my other monitor whenever I'm full screen in Ableton. But then when I unfull screen, the window comes back.
but it's not quite what we want to see. But it's not quite what we want to see. But it's not quite what we want to see. But it's not quite what we want to see.
Hey, Zach.
But it's not quite.
Just making some weird music from Ron Warner's lesson, his adaptive button lesson. But trying to do something with him saying, but it's not quite what we want,
But it's not quite what we want.
and fit it into this weird other, like everything's based on his voice.
But it's not quite what we want.
All these drums and synths.
But it's not quite what we want.
Oh yeah.
But it's not quite what we want. But it's not quite what we want.
Let's add auto filter on this. Trying to bring out where he's speaking. Oh, that's way too low. What am I thinking? Actually, maybe you can cut off the bottom end.
But it's not quite.
Press T.
But it's not quite what we want.
But it's not quite what we want. But it's not quite what we want. But it's not quite what we want. But it's not quite what we want.
Yeah, I'm not liking what that vocal synth is doing. Some delay after that.
But it's not quite what we want.
Let's see, and that's peaking. So we can compress that.
But it's not quite what we want. But it's not quite what we want.
Actually want to try this. There's a way to, I've never tried this before, but there's a way to use a gate. Oops. Where, let's see. You have the gate on both of these. And you only have the delay on like the noise, that, the soft or the quieter noise. So you take this, duplicate it, and flip it.
But it's not quite what we want.
Then you can add the delay to the flipped part.
But it's not quite what we want. But it's not quite what we want.
Since I only, let's see, I want to try and add the want to, or the delay to the word want, but not the rest of it. So I think I'll need to do that. either through automation.
That's not quite what we want.
Automation or splitting the clip. Let's see. I don't use this automation much. Let's see, where is it? It's like the envelopes in here. There it is. I wonder if I can grab that delay and toggle that. Inside of here, so envelopes, quite what we want, delay, and then dry wet. I want on off. Is this gonna let me do that from here? LFO attack. Detune. Nope. All right. So try delay. And we'll just do dry wet. So we can start there, and I think he says want around here.
That's quite what we want.
Is that working? That's not moving. Why is that not moving? Delay time. Maybe 0 is what I'm looking for.
That's not quite what we want. That's not quite what we want. That's not quite what we want. That's not quite what we want.
I'm going to back out of that. I think I just have to split the sound and add the delay only to the want. Which is essentially, let me do that instead of complain about it. Crop sample, and then the sample.
But it's not quite what we want. But it's not quite what we want. But it's not quite what. But it's not quite what. But it's not quite what we want. But it's not quite what we want. But it's not quite what we.
All right, so that, and then I can show the sample in the browser. Take this sample, put it right here. Name this one to want. Then want should be around here somewhere.
Want.
Then in here.
But it's not quite what we want. But it's not quite what we want. But it's not quite what we want.
So I'll have to add, it's putting all the effects on this. So let's take them all and put them on the entire drum rack. That way.
But it's not quite what we want. But it's not.
Oh, we boosted this one quite a bit.
But it's not quite what we want.
All right, so with that, I'm going to have to record that in, I think.
But it's not quite what we want.
And then on the want sample, I can add that delay. From audio effects, drop that here. This one's only on the want though, and want is selected.
That's not quite what we want. That's not quite what we want. That's not quite what we want. That's not quite what we want.
To bring those together a little bit more.
That's not quite what we want. That's not quite what we want. That's not quite what we want. That's not quite what we want.
Interesting.
That's not quite what we want.
Gotta bring that W out more. And that delay's a bit heavy. It's a little bit better.
That's not quite what we want. That's not quite what we want.
Yeah, getting the W to come out's tough. All right, let's move on to something else though. We'll come back to that.
That's not quite what we want.
Let's play around some other chords for the next section. Duplicate this, and we're going to find or create another instrument to play some lead on top of this. Alrighty. So all my sounds are in here. Let's go to this one.
Adjusted our horizontal padding, and then drawing our button. Submit the rectangle and text tools. Selected button is going to have the label submit. What we want. Have the label submit. Have the label submit. But have the label submit.
We'll try that one.
But we commonly want.
We'll crop that and we need to find that one in current project. Crops.
But it's not quite what we want. Have the label submit.
There
but
it is. Go into reactor. Sample here.
Have the label submit. But we commonly want every button to have the same padding.
Go about there. Load that in. Excuse me. Let's change some curve presets. Turn the reverb off as we work on this. The frequency shaping. All right. More of a pure tone with a sine wave. Some interesting texture in there, but it's not really coming through. Let us cut off that part. Don't think we need this one to loop. It's gonna fit.
That's not quite what we want. That's not quite what we want.
All right. Put some FM on there. Still too fast. I'm gonna try flipping this. Drive that even more, maybe. Almost got a trumpet-like sound to it. Never attached that to the LFO before. That's interesting, at least. Try to be more decisive there, so let's figure something out. In these bars.
That's not quite what we want. That's not quite what we want. That's not quite what we want.
I know that note was wrong, but the way my push is set up, I can't get to that note. Let's do a glissando on this one. Poly or legato.
That's not quite what we want. That's not quite what we want.
Let's see. That in here.
That's not quite what we want.
Never really written a song that sounds anything like this, but whatever.
That's not quite what we want.
Definitely. Let's insert some time here. Whoa.
That's not quite what we want.
Let's go up.
That's not quite what we want.
Oops.
That's not quite what we want.
Bring this back over.
That's not quite what we want.
I'm gonna listen to these together. Let's see, the notes in here. are between 100 and 1K. So if we kind of duck this stuff, this might come through more. Oh, thanks, Zach. It's weird stuff. I mean, sound design always, you just never know where you're going to end up. But that's the fun of it. Like I have this love-hate thing with this right here. It's like a combination of very interesting and stupid at the same time. You know, something, I want to give it some more motion. I usually overkill on motion, but something like an LFO pointing to an auto filter can kind of give it a bit of a and we'll put this on the beat.
That's not quite what we
I'm gonna try just dropping some presets on top of the drum, the quote-unquote drums on here. See if I can bring those through at all. Oops, there we go.
That's not quite what we want. That's not quite what we want.
I made the drums nice and big.
That's not quite what we want. That's not quite what we want. That's not quite what we want. That's not quite what we That's not quite what we That's not quite what we
Duplicate that again and let it ride. That's not quite what we want. Let's see. That's not quite what we want. That's not quite what we want. That's not quite what we want. These feel like they should be more across your ears. I wish these would just open in the same window rather than always bouncing around. That's not quite what we want. I'm gonna try one more thing just to see if I can get anything out of this plugin, the movement plugin. That's not quite what we want. That's not quite what we want. That's going from my right ear to the left ear. Some drum presets. Let's see. Fast, slow, plucks, swing, triplet, dotted. Hit slicer. That's not quite what we want. 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 All right, I'm just going to leave that there. So let's see. It's a good way to demonstrate where we started.
By drawing our button, adjusted our rectangle and adjusted our horizontal padding, and then
all right, so we started with samples from Ryan Warner's voice.
Button. Not every text tool. Button, we want to vertically. Now that we have a button, let's give it auto layout behavior.
And we turned it into the solo. That's not quite what we want. So that's what we got. And I'm out.